This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
I'm Kelly Thompson, and you're listening to Capes and Lunatics.
There's a thin line between heroism and madness.
Here the line fades to nothing at all. This is a world of capes and lunatics.
And nothing is off limits.
Much news. A show has come to an end. Lots of comic books, lots of show news. So let's get into it on a Saturday morning. Capes and Lunatics, episode 118. 118. Sorry, Lil. Starts right now.
Hashtag Petty Phil. Make that a thing, guys.
That's right. I am Petty Bitch Phil, joined as always by Florida woman herself.
Hey, y'all. It's Lil Palfire.
And creator of intellectual properties for comic book writers everywhere is...
Charlie, the Professor Esser. Gus Gorman lives!
For everyone who did not watch our David Walker interview online, how dare you? But you can check it out here on the podcast on Wednesday. Super Connectivity, episode 250. Charlie Esser, once again, showing his love for Superman 3.
The best one.
Telling Mr. David F. Walker, a professional comic book writer, hey, what? Gus Gorman is probably Leviathan and should have his own comic. And for some reason, David Walker seemed to respond to that. Even posted about it on social media and said, hey, I was just talking to the guys over at Capes and Lunatics. So thank you for that, Mr. Walker.
Yes, it did. He got our Twitter handle wrong, but
yeah,
Capes and Lunatics is Capes. But that's okay. Not going to correct the man. We should just go get that one now.
But he did post on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram about it, so.
Yes, I know. Well, I'm very happy about that because he is awesome and he is great and I can't wait. The only one, Gus Gorman has the love. I'm sorry. Gus Gorman has the love. And DC, I know you're sometimes make odd choices about things, which we're going to get to in a moment, I'm sure, about a certain before the explosion show that has recently had some things, but you know what, this is a no-brainer. And Marvel, get on that the deadly Nighthawk ongoing. Come on, man.
So big victory for Charlie Esser on Super Connectivity 250.
Yeah, you wait, man. 2020, we're gonna get Gus Gorman. We're gonna get the deadly Nighthawk. This it's gonna happen, man. I am molding the universe to my will. At least the comic book universe.
Yeah, we did Super Connectivity 250. You know what that means? We're going to have a little Hellfire guest star in like 19 weeks.
Yes. 19 weeks.
Well, she always wants to be on every show of ours that ends in 69, so.
Oh, okay, I see.
So.
I thought we were talking about the 21st, but that's not 19 weeks from now.
No.
It just feels like it.
Oh no, we were talking about maybe doing something special for an episode of Capes and Lunatics if everyone's in the same room.
Well, you know, Maz is down for it, so.
Yes.
The Seinfeld Live read.
Yes. We're talking about.
Even if neither one of us can get off on Friday, we can always leave after work, or we can even leave first thing Saturday morning, and you know, it's only a 6-hour drive, so.
Is it? Oh.
About that. 6, 7, you know.
It keeps going up.
Well, yeah. It's drivable.
They might want to stop at a Waffle House. Leave them alone.
I'm not going to say they're going to stop.
Diner food, okay? He needs it in his life.
Yeah, well, honestly, it would be nice if we were leaving in the evening because we're leaving sometime on Friday because then we can stop at Yakko's.
See? Told you.
I love Yakko's dogs. Scary mascot, great food.
Charlie showing Maz the
Kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's. No, I'm kidding.
Yes! Oh, man, I was so mad. Apparently, the Banana Splits movie has already aired on Sci-Fi. but it's like $19.99 to try and watch it on demand now. I just saw that someone had watched it and they were very disappointed. I was like, man, but Tristan has to judge that. You can't judge that. Tristan has to judge that. This is the Banana Splits murder mayhem
And that's
movie.
why everybody needs to be a pirate in their life at least once or twice. That's all I'm saying.
I want to see it too. I just don't know if I want to see it for $20. That's the only thing. I don't know if I want to own it. I just want to see it.
That's like theater. That's like IMAX prices or something.
Yeah, I know, man. And it's a Sci-Fi Channel produced, so I expected it to just be given to me in exchange for, selling my time for commercials.
Oh, that was from Sci-Fi?
Yeah, Sci-Fi produced that.
What are they doing over there? Again, the big news. I mean, Krypton.
Really that big of news because they moved it to Friday nights in the summer, so they didn't really have high hopes for this show to begin with. Their writing was on the wall if you are a geek buff. You're talking about Krypton, right?
What do you mean they moved it to Friday? It's been on Wednesday night.
Oh.
They must
I thought it was on Friday nights.
Unless they replayed it or something, but I mean, no, I've been watching it Friday nights. It's on, Wednesday nights at 10.
Are you sure that's not just the rebroadcast?
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Friday they might air it again on Friday.
Yeah.
But, well, it could, because it's like the season 2 finale was this past Wednesday, and then yesterday they announced, season 2's it. We're not even doing a spin-off or nothing.
I never really see commercials for it either, and I watch a lot of the Sci-Fi Channel actually watch it. Like commercials and all.
Yeah, I get the computer advertisements to remind me that the show exists because they know their target audience. But I'll say this: they should have done Jor-El's story, not whichever L this was. Not that there's anything wrong with this L, but the fact of the matter is he's too far removed. It's like you can do the Commissioner Gordon series because people know who Commissioner Gordon is.
Yeah.
You could even do a Thomas Wayne or Alfred series because people know who those guys are. If you're going to do, Grandpa Wayne, who, what's his name? Nobody knows. People are going to be like, okay, how does this guy become a bat? How does this fit into our entire universe that we come to know and love? So, I think that hurts them right there.
They eventually could have got the Jor-El.
The building of Society of Krypton and stuff like that. Like, people are curious about, the backstory on Krypton, but, and that's why they started throwing the Lobos and all that stuff into
Are they, though?
And a time-traveling General Zod, and
Yeah,
in theory, it's interesting as long as Bendis isn't doing it.
Well, what I will say is, I think anytime you want to get into what this society is, you run the risk of people not feeling it. And I think about, what they do, like 2 hours of what is Krypton and Man of Steel, or something like that, where apparently they ride dragons, because, I guess anti-grav belts haven't been invented yet or something. I don't know.
Because dragons are cool. They're their version of dinosaurs, okay?
Yeah, I wonder about how much those things are going to eat, how much they're going to poop. Were they fire-breathing dragons? How does that affect the local atmosphere?
Targaryen, dragons eat what they want.
I understand that, and that's half the problem, especially if you're living in a domed city. Because those dragons are going to eat the only other thing alive aside from dragons, which is Kryptonians. Maybe a crypto dog, or maybe a super monkey. I'm just saying but you see, and what it is that when you do a story like that, it's going to turn a lot of people off because it's not hashtag their Krypton.
Well, I just wonder too if the budget, the budget was probably high for this show, and it's like if they weren't getting the ratings they wanted, especially since like they announced this back when Gotham was starting. There you go, Rob. When Gotham was starting, and it's like then they took it back for a couple years and I don't know what they were reworking, but then so did that raise expectations even higher?
Really be connected to the Man of Steel and DCE universe. This is supposed to be our. In theory, this was supposed to be our Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And it was going to into stuff in the DCU, and when that just blew up and fell apart, they were like, okay, we're going to retool it. And then it's just like, also, I didn't know until Colin Salmon showed up. I'm an actor on that show either, so I'm just like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, because all like Brits and maybe some Australians or something, right?
I know British actors, but they're not the micro-targeting 25 British actors that every American knows.
They
like
but that's how you get to be one of those 25. You know, is you gotta pay your dues, Willie.
That's not produced by the BBC. Oh no, sir, that's not how you do.
They spent the budget on special effects. They can't be getting big names, love.
You know, but for what it's worth, you can say that is where I think S.H.I.E.L.D. was a little smarter. I mean, they had a high SFX budget for a TV show, but it wasn't ludicrous. And as a result, this is, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has always been the little show that could. It's underfunded, it's kind of pushed to the side, but yet they keep on proving themselves to whoever you have to prove these things to keep on going to even one more season. After all of this, we get to do Before the Cap with them. So, if you go too far too fast, if you blow your load early, you're never going to get the audience to where they want to go.
This isn't Waysboro. We're not allowed to say blow your load. It's Saturday morning. Sorry, Charlie.
Oh, I don't know when they're listening to this, so it could be Saturday night at midnight.
Over the internet, so
Well, yeah, but to torture the metaphor, if you don't get the audience where they need to go, you didn't do what you wanted to do. We'll just leave it at that.
Gotta please.
The audience is a fickle mistress, and you got to know your audience to give the audience what they want. You got to watch the audience.
Also, sci-fi was a weird choice because
it is. I mean, it's kind of sci-fi. I mean,
so it's just like it just means it's not really part of Warner Brothers, and it's
not.
Just it's a Universal NBC Universal brand. So that also threw me for a loop. Like, okay, so I guess NBC proper probably didn't want it. I think it had to do with the Constantine deal, honestly, way back when. And then they're like, no, can't have any more. We don't want any more superheroes on the main channel. I think is what happened.
What's like, why are you throwing all your properties all over the place? Like, Sci-Fi, and Pennyworth is on Epix. I mean, again, except for our little community here, I haven't heard anyone really talking about Krypton, but I even had someone come up to me at work, what was it, yesterday, I'm like, hey, are you watching that Pennyworth show? I watched the first couple episodes. That's pretty good. So,
yeah. And now they can't watch anymore.
I mean, they could. I don't know if he's going to pay for more.
No, it's going to be like Wolverine the Long Night, where that first season, they're going to run it through, and they're going to realize no one came and bought to watch it, and then they're just going to say, just let Amazon Prime show them all, and they'll pay us something, and then we'll do it all then. And just like now with Wolverine, it's like it airs, and then like a week later you get you get it if you do the pedestrian pass.
Well, yeah, I mean Stitcher does it ad free. Yeah, if you have the subscription, then after a while they just air it free with commercials. So I mean, yeah,
which is great. I mean, what do I care about commercials? Put the dang thing on Tubi.
That's Lilith's relief.
My brain is totally for rent to any god or government. I am not.
Yeah, you'll be like, because that's once it hits wherever it's gonna hit, it'll.
But it's I wonder if would they give it like a movie or something to wrap it up, because they did not wrap stuff up, because like General Zod. No, they did take care of Zod, but Brainiac is still out there with like Baby Jor-El and stuff. And,
oh boy,
now Wilhelm's gone.
She can't. Brainiac, why do you steal those things we love? Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, this goes to what David Walker was saying. I'm sure they thought they had, because it's true for TV as well as comic books. They thought they had another season. They thought they had 5 more episodes, and they're like, no, you're done.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're done.
Some of these TV shows are like, oh, if we don't wrap it up this season, they won't dare cancel us. And then it's like, yeah, we would.
Yeah, and you know what? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they did the opposite. They said, you know what? This is probably going to cancel us. Let's just leave it all on the table. Mm-hmm. And Disney said, you know what? Give those boys 2 more seasons. Let's see 2 more stories with, LMD Coulson and then demon-possessed Coulson and, and then we're going to go throw Coulson back into the movies. LMD Coulson, man. I'm waiting for that. LMD Coulson. Although, I don't know if you heard my prediction in the last Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast. I think I mentioned it. That I think they're doing with Coulson what they did with Dum Dum Dugan.
Oh, yes, I did hear you and I was talking about
that Coulson isn't dead. He's just in a cryo chamber, and the Coulson LMD is sort of their way so that people don't know there's an actual Coulson that they have to go to, so that when the Coulson LMDs keep on coming back with all the memories,
I'd be down for that.
Sure, oh, yeah. Oh, it is totally what they're doing.
And hey, again, to your theory, we never saw his body. They never told us where, if he is dead, where he's buried or anything. Not,
And now they got time travel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All you need is a little Simmons, go in, slip him a little dendrotoxin, put him in suspended animation, make cries because he's passed away, and then toss him in your cryo chamber, hook him up to your handy dandy LMD, and hi guys, I'm back.
Because they've been pretty vague about that. It's like, he's gone. It's like, the death scene, no. It's he's buried here. Nothing.
Well, exactly, man. There's always something more to the story. Yeah. Now the real question is did Fitz figure out a way to go back in time without shunting into another dimension? That's the real question with Fitz. Is he? Because is he smarter than Tony Stark? Yes, obviously. Because he doesn't have the social. That's the thing. It's like when you have all those social graces, unless you're Reed Richards, it's going. Your brain can only do so many things. And
or is Shield going to start creating alternate timelines because we do have that What If animated series coming?
Oh yeah, it's the new Legends of Tomorrow. There we go. The Legends of Marvel. And now we're just legends. There will be no S.H.I.E.L.D. We won't ever go back to S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. will exist, but we will not be a part of it, for we are the legends of the Time Variance Authority.
They better have a Time Variance Authority.
Yeah. Well, they're going to show up, and it's going to be led by Deke, but it's an alternate future Deke from one where he was born into this time travel universe. It's like, no, I founded the Time Variance Authority to keep you guys under control. But we wouldn't exist enough here. Yeah, well,
I mean, I think you said something like, it's like, oh yeah, we Fitz and Simmons have to have a daughter now, so Deke can exist. Not really, because I mean, isn't he from like that timeline that doesn't exist now? Yeah. He's still here, so I don't think.
Oh yeah, no. Deke doesn't have. You don't have to have a daughter so that Deke can exist. I'm saying they're probably going to write that daughter into the story eventually.
Okay.
And my statement was that I think Gemma's already pregnant.
Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah.
Or she already had the kid, and the kid is with Fitz in wherever that Fitz is, in that space beyond time and space where him, Franklin Richards, and Galactus are hanging out.
I'm sure they announced that before this series ends, yeah.
Lily? Yeah, she's trying, man. She's got that Florida Wi-Fi, man. It ain't what it needs to be. All the iguanas are getting in the way. That's what I tell you.
All the gators.
Yeah, it's hurricane.
There you go.
Yeah.
We get like one hurricane every 10, 20 years in New Jersey. That's about the right number you should have. It's big. It's like, oh, it was a hurricane. It was very wet and horrible. And now let's not do that anymore. Okay? Florida, no, we love that stuff. Just bring on more hurricanes.
Bring on more.
We've got a nice flat country. Just wipes it out. We just put it right back up.
Freezing.
That's a Florida way of life, I imagine.
But did everyone hear the whole comic book snafu this week?
Oh yeah, was it Supergirl had the wrong cover?
Superman and Supergirl. I could not get my copy of Superman this week because there was something. Was it Superman 14? I think. Man, she's gone. Yeah. My comic guy was mentioning that. So did they just gender swap the cover? So you picked up. You got Superman in my Supergirl. You got Supergirl in my Superman. And they're cousins. That's wrong. I think it was something really stupid, like they put Year of the Villain on the covers, but meanwhile it wasn't supposed to be on there. And my guy was saying he doesn't know if there was a misprint or something in the issues, but they had already shipped them out. The stores got them, but DC told the stores, don't sell them, destroy them. So people were already posting on eBay, issues for $60 or something, but
Oh yeah.
But like I told my guy, I'm like, yeah, you didn't sell me any wink, and he's like, no. He's like, we can't. He's like, they're talking about messing with any store who sells them. He's like, either not giving them the usual discounts or like even sending them DC books late. Like if everyone else gets their books on Tuesday or delivered Tuesday or Wednesday,
yeah,
DC's talking about not giving any stores who sell them their books until like Thursday.
Yeah, although, there probably were a few people who got their things pulled and they didn't re-pull them. It happens. There's honest mistakes that occur. I remember I once got a Hulk that got pulled back because of a printing error, so it wasn't like a cool printing error. There was no Hulk penis in it. It was just the pages stuck together, which, maybe there was a Hulk penis in it at some point.
But, yeah, no, that's just weird. It's like you already sent them to the store, so it's like, aren't the stores just like, well, I paid for them, you sent them to me, can I do what I want with,
Well, no, actually, because they didn't pay for them. Oh no, that's right. Well, I don't know. Do they still do the thing where they send back the covers for the discount, or they just buy them straight now?
I don't know if they were offering them a discount or anything, but I guess because I thought I saw something yesterday where they're like, oh, now DC is offering to pay the shipping or whatever for the new copies or whatever, and I'm just like, oh, you weren't paying anything before? Well, I would have been like, yeah, screw you too,
Well, in the direct sales market, there were like two different ways you could do it. One is they would send you the comics, and then you would pay for the comics full price, and then you would send back your unsold comics for your reimbursement.
Yeah.
And then they did a thing where they lowered the price so they didn't have to have them sent back, as I recall, and so you don't send the comics back anymore. But I don't know if you can buy your comics either way now. I don't know if there's different ways you can buy the comics and different ways you can sell the comics. I'm not sure. I'm not a comic book store owner, so I can't say exactly what they do in this thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because isn't Diamond the only game in town?
Well, yeah, but they can have different shipping models, and I think it has to do with whether or not it has a UPC code or whether or not it has another thing on the cover, something like that. It's I don't know. Brian Conan wrote a whole article on it a few years back, and it's on Comic Book Resources somewhere, or Comics Should Be Good. So look for it.
But yeah, my guy was saying, DC was talking about messing with people's discounts. So the different companies must give them different discounts and stuff.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. Makes you wonder what was in it, or maybe it was technically Year of the Villain, but then now you know that Red Hood, it was Jimmy Olsen the whole time, or something like that.
But I'm like, why the big deal? It's like, even if it wasn't a Year of the Villain story and it had it on the cover, wouldn't people just be like, oh, that's stupid, why did they put that on the cover? It had nothing to do with Year of the Villain, and then move on. It seems like
Marvel wouldn't care.
It seems like more of a big deal now that they're like, don't sell them.
Yeah, well, exactly. You know what? Maybe DC is trying to goose that speculators market.
Oh yeah.
They're like, don't sell those. We'll have to retaliate. Oh, you naughty people selling those comics we didn't want you to sell.
Oh yeah, they think. Oh yeah, supposedly, there's people who got them somehow are selling them for, like I said, I think at least $60 online. I think my shop guy was saying he's there was people who already had it posted Tuesday night, $150 or something.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what David Walker would say is that's silly. I'd rather you spend $150 on just more comics.
Exactly. Help the market.
Exactly. Help your local brick and mortar, man.
Yeah. Just the industry in general. Lilith.
Hey, Lilith.
Hey.
You got the iguana out of the router?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I've been doing my best to keep it blue for you while you were gone. So,
thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, got that iguana out of your router. Your thoughts on this Superman and Supergirl cover snafu?
How about you get your damn stuff out on time, and then you wouldn't have to worry about it.
Well, it would have been on time this week, but it's that's what I said. It's it seems like they made a bigger deal, telling them not to sell it.
It's the other stories that didn't line up to make You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I said it seems like they're making a bigger deal of it now by not selling them. You know, if they would have sold, you know, say they're not Year of the Villain.
How many times have we said as comic book fans, oh, the cover didn't really match the story, and nobody gives a crap?
Exactly. That's what I said. We would have complained about it this morning and then moved right on and forgot about it.
And now it's just like, you can't even get Super. What are you doing, DC?
Well, a lot of the books are like Shazam and, of course, Doomsday Clock. Who knows if that'll ever finish?
Well, you know, the writing's on the wall, so...
For what?
Maybe they need to shut down and do a full refresh of, like, everybody from top to bottom.
But...
No books for a couple of years. How about that?
And that's the former #1 fan, DC. You're in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to do that. There's too much money.
Yeah, they need to focus on stuff. You can't focus on stuff when you're constantly chasing your tail. And honestly, I feel like that's what AT&T is thinking. It just seems like...
Yeah, if you can't get Superman out on time.
Spend this. Hey, man's writing 100 books. Let him do it.
I know.
It's Doomsday Clock. I give it another 2 weeks before something goes wrong with Year of the Villain. There's going to be late books on that, you know.
I know. When they said that's like going through every title, I'm like, oh, that's not going to end well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they need a Jim Shooter over there. That man could crack a whip, get his people in line. I'm just saying they hated him for it. But you wouldn't have Secret Wars. You wouldn't have Atlantis Attack.
Get me a 12-issue series to sell some toys. You don't want to do it, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm just saying the man knew how to control his people. You need a leader in that position. You need a strong... You don't need you don't need a guy with a lot of big talk and, you know, no grand vision, who just flips and flops and goes all over the way. You need a guy who can say, I know where we're going this season. Here's the plan, you know. Now, arguably, that's what Bendis is supposed to be doing over there at DC.
No.
But maybe he's got... Well, I mean, I'm just saying, that's the idea.
The talent. So...
Yeah. Well, maybe he should be editor-in-chief over there.
Is he planning a hospital takeover?
No.
I'm just saying he would be the logical guy. He's got deep knowledge. I think he could do it. I think the man collaborates well, as we see when any of his collaborative works. You know, I think the man can. I think the man maybe needs to move into that executive suite.
I think he has too big an ego for that, and they just don't. We just don't need that. So,
Well, see, to me, I say that's what you want. You want that person who is going to commit to what he wants to do. It may not be the best thing, but at least the book will go out on time.
That's my point, and that's not helping. So maybe try something different. Just a thought.
Maybe they can make David Walker editor-in-chief. That'll work.
There you go.
I'm down for that.
He's too busy. Leave that man alone.
Yeah. I know.
I would say Kelly Thompson, but she's writing Deadpool, I hear, so.
Yep, they're giving Kelly Thompson Deadpool. Yep.
Well, there we go. My hair. I gotta get rid of this stuff. My hair, sorry. I'm looking in a mirror constantly on this thing. And I don't like to look in mirrors because things aren't where they're supposed to be. I don't deal well with the reverse image.
Beauty is such a cross to bear for Charlie Esser.
It is.
I know.
That's why Lilith doesn't appear on camera anymore.
Heck yeah. Just in my gross pajamas. I'm cute. It's great.
Remember I made you switch Power Rangers?
Just lying on a bed of beer, alcohol bottles.
Beer bottles, yeah.
Yes.
I never did that before. I'm too young to.
All right. Everyone.
This is just the Green Ranger and the White Ranger are actually the same Ranger. So.
Yeah.
This is news to him. Well, you know, he doesn't know the deep dive lore, you know. So it's like
Lilith has to school.
Cool things to learn. Yes. Anyway.
Watch anything past Power Rangers, The Lost Galaxy. It's just saying. Save your time. If you're a Book and Skull fan, The Lost Galaxy is for you, though. So they get a lot of prominent play. So, Charlie, something you meant.
Okay.
All right.
So anyway, what were you saying, Philip?
I was gonna say, want to talk some comics?
Yeah, let's do that. It was a late week for me.
What?
It was a light week for me. Like, nothing was really tickling my fancy. My pull list is like, it's bad.
Yeah. Well, let me talk about a book I didn't read first, just so we can get out of the way.
Oh, okay.
Conan, Valeria, which is the most... Buy this book simply for the cover book you're ever going to see, because it is clearly meant to imply, hey, maybe this is Sue Storm and Valeria Richards' ancient ancestor. You should buy it. And I have no idea if it has it because I haven't read it yet. I doubt it is. Although I got to say, does that look like pre-Iron Age fashion? I don't know. I think the fashion's a little too modernized for that, and I think that style of sword wasn't in use in the Iron Age. They had much shorter swords, but that's just my opinion. That whole Atlantean technology, it screws everything up. But so that was the book I didn't read. I will read it eventually. But Valeria, Age of Conan, and they named her that just because they said, hey, if we call it Valeria, that's going to make people think of Valeria Richards, and make her blonde with blue eyes, and make her basically look like a Sue Storm, and. We're going to just sell books based totally on that. And they did!
It could be something Charlie Esser might like.
Exactly. Well, it is. They know that I am the vanguard of comics, of the next great wave in comics, so might as well. So is there anything you guys did or didn't read this week?
Did you read Loki 2 like I asked you to?
Yes, I did. Loki 2, Electric Boogaloo. Literally an Electric Boogaloo. Yeah, Loki wants to join the Avengers. Although, ironically, Hank Pym already invited him to join the Avengers. I'm surprised he didn't bring that up. It's like, Hank Pym said I should join the Avengers. To which I'm sure I can go, yeah, exactly. That's not a ringing endorsement, Loki.
But I love how Tony Stark's like, oh, you can join if you come walking in here holding Thor's hammer. I'm like, Tony, can you pick up Thor's hammer?
Well, no, he can't. But that's the thing. Of course. Wait, is Mjolnir? No, it's back.
It's back. Yeah,
it's back. It's back as Mjolnir. I thought it was like a wristband now or something.
No. Jane Foster had the ultimate, had Thor's hammer. No.
Oh, she has ultimate Thor.
No, Odin's son has the Mjolnir back. So.
Oh, okay. It's hard for me to keep track of sometimes. Okay. There's so many hammers, so little time. Okay. So yeah, well, Loki's worthy.
But yeah.
Hydra Cap was worthy. Surely Loki is.
No, wait. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Hydra Cap. Because they used the cosmic cube to change the universe ever so slightly, so that it no longer said if you be worthy, it's just if you be strong enough.
Oh, I know what Charlie has read.
What did I read?
Fantastic Four 13.
Yes. Who would win?
Oh, great
the
story.
Hulk and the Thing. The Thing. F you, Hulk. You ain't nothing. And man, I just hate Banner. Banner is just such an awful human being in general. Because again, not the Hulk. That's Banner. That is who Banner is. The Devil Hulk is who Banner is. You will never dissuade me of this. The man built bombs. The man has been wanting to smash things since before he could smash.
I told you he was going to get his revenge on the Puppet Master.
Oh yeah, which was also kind of like, I don't know. I'm not 100% feeling that, because again, it's like, because first off, now you're just making the Puppet Master angry.
Mm-hmm.
And unless you're going to straight up kill the Puppet Master, which is then going to get, Alicia might not like that. Quite frankly. And she can probably be a way more manipulative and evil than the Puppet Master, But maybe they are setting up Alicia to be the new Puppet Master. But we're going to have a whole heel turn with Alicia.
Yeah, but I just knew the way they're writing Immortal Hulk these days, that he wasn't just going to let that go.
Yeah. Except that they kind of made the point that, yeah, he totally was down with it,
Well, yeah. I mean, he was down for pounding on Ben Grimm, but he wasn't, for someone manipulating him.
I know, but at the same time, it was just like, hey, you want to go beat up the Thing? It's like, yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, Puppet Master's talking through his mouth, but at the same time, he was less a, he invited him in, it's sort of like, you have to invite the vampire in. So I don't know. I just think, honestly, to me, the reason why he did that was because he was embarrassed by being beat up. And the only way he can save face is now to act like, you only beat me because I was mind controlled. You couldn't beat me if I wasn't mind controlled. It's like, no, because you are a weak, pathetic little milksop, Bruce Banner. No matter how roided up you think you are, you do not got the strength and the stamina to keep on getting back up the way Ben Grimm does. Just gonna say.
Amadeus Cho is my Hulk.
I'm sorry, what?
I said that's why Amadeus Cho is my Hulk.
Oh yeah. Well, now he's Braun.
Yes, I know, but
he's out of the Hulk business, man.
I did enjoy his run as a Hulk. So.
Yeah. He was a better Hulk, although I think he got into that whole take over the world thing too, that's.
Yeah, absolute power corrupts absolutely is what they're saying. So.
Yeah. Well, what it is super geniuses who, you give a super genius
that ego.
That's, that is why Reed Richards stays humble. Because he screwed up big time. And he blew up his family. And so he's always like, maybe I'm not, everyone says I'm the smartest guy in the world. I don't know how much that means, Just because I'm pretty smart doesn't mean I know everything. And,
what in doubt, Mephisto? It's a long game with Mephisto.
Yeah. Oh, well, Mephisto's touched them all,
Exactly.
Crazy.
I remember Mephisto versus the Fantastic Four. That was a great story.
Oh,
part of an entire Mephisto limited series. It was great. I love that one.
That's what I was telling Will yesterday, Charlie. Guess what Mephisto did now this week?
What did Mephisto do this week?
Well, he helped Doctor Strange save the universe, and his price, he wanted a piece of Doctor Strange's soul.
Okay, that's fine. That's too.
Have one like Doctor Strange doesn't seem like he has a soul.
There was actually an episode maybe a year ago where Doctor Strange actually tried. This was during the Incursion storyline.
Talking about Doctor.
And go to sell his soul, and the being that he tries to sell to says, "You don't have a soul left to sell, man. You've been burning through that thing for years. You ain't, So I mean, that's the thing. And with Mephisto, how much he even actually owns anybody's souls? That's always a question because people are always getting out of there. Mm-hmm. People wandering out of the afterlife all the time. I think that most of the time it's just people get stuck in this idea. Well, I sold my soul, so I'm obligated to be here, and it's like, not really.
I mean, I just think
or shift to the left, man.
I mean, is it just not that he has a piece of Doctor Strange?
Get out of here.
Yeah, but can he use that to maybe exert a little influence on Doctor Strange now?
Well, I'm sure he would. He's got as we saw with the Champions, all he wants to do is just get his hooks into you.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great little story I once read, which was sort of the reverse take of The Devil Went Down to Georgia, where basically that this was the devil's plan all along, is just to get this guy to get all full of himself and say, I beat the devil. Now I have this golden fiddle. Nothing can stop me, man. And it's just like, yep, hubris. That's my favorite sin.
What is this? The Devil's Advocate?
No, well, actually, it was a little mind control porn story I read once. But it actually had that great little sub idea of it, which was that the devil's favorite sin is hubris, which was also in a really great Tales from the Dark Side once about the demonic wrestlers. So that was also cool. With the guy who played Mel Sharples was basically Satan in it, and he makes the point that hubris is my favorite sin because the wrestler that he puts against the good guy wrestler, he gets stronger based on how many sins you have, and they say, well, I'm Peter Perfect, I have no sins, and then he starts getting that hubris, and then he becomes too strong. And I think his mom goes in and beats up the bad guy because she has no sense. Yeah.
Probably Esther would like. Let me just put it to you that way.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the thing is the devil's favorite sin is hubris because that's what gets you to do all the other sins. Is the idea that okay, I can do this because I'm Doctor Strange, so I can get away with it. Which is why I think he never really got his claws as deep into Spider-Man as he wants to. Because Peter Parker has no hubris. He's like, yeah, I'll sell my soul to the devil. I deserve it. Like, no, you're not supposed to say that. You're not supposed to be defeatist about it. You're ruining my fun, Peter.
Oh, can I mention, I'm sure...
Peter can't do anything, right?
I'm sure Lilith didn't read it, but Detective Comics 1009, it's got a big, Batman vs. Mr. Freeze on the cover. But it's like most of the issue is Batman vs. Deadshot. And like the last 2 pages are basically Mr. Freeze saying, "Oh, Lex is going to help me bring my wife back." That's like the deal he struck. So I'm like, what about this cover snafu? It looks like there's a big battle between Batman and Mr. Freeze, and it doesn't happen. Yeah. Freeze doesn't even show up to the last 2 pages.
Ever since Will Smith's Deadshot, nobody cares about Deadshot.
I know.
So.
Okay, well, let me take this back like two pages. Isn't that the deal everyone makes with Mr. Freeze? I'm going to bring your dead wife back. It's like, okay, great. And no one ever does.
But if anybody could do it, it would be Lex.
I don't know, man. I was watching Tristan Loves the Death Battles. And they did Tony Stark versus Lex Luthor. And Lex Luthor didn't even build that dang armor. I guess now it's something from Apocalypse. I know originally it was something he found in a Mayan temple. Man just repurposes, lost laser guns. Mm-hmm. He is not the genius people think he is. He's smart, don't get him wrong, but
But work smarter, not harder. What do you mean? That is genius.
But again, we're recalling Superman and Supergirl issues because of supposedly false advertising on the cover. What about this?
Well, no, that's acceptable false advertising because the character's in the book. It's like on the Champions, like the issue before where they show the Nova reaching for his helmet, and then he never even gets to the helmet that issue because it says, "Oh wow, he gets the helmet back." No, not when you get to the end of it. So that's the only thing there is it is what it is. There's a certain level of false advertising that you're allowed to do in comic books, but apparently, like I said, I think that the issue with that was that it did have the wrong covers on it. I heard that it was actually like, they put the Supergirl cover on the Superman books. And that actually could cause problems because it's not like you open the book to see what it is before you put it in someone's box. And it would have gone on the shelves and people would have said, "Hey, wait, this is wrong." It would have caused a whole big kerfuffle. So I get them recalling it, and I get that it's a big snafu. So they probably do have to say, "Look, just give these back. We'll send you corrected ones," Because it's not like what you got was really anything crazy worth it, Hair. So yeah, like I said, but Deadshot's Deadshot. I liked him better when he wore the tuxedo.
Of course you did.
Gotta go back to the tuxedo and top hat, man. Riddle's a red cap.
Lilith, did you read Event Leviathan, number 3?
No.
No, I just didn't know if you wanted to see.
I'm not interested. Unless it's Jimmy Olsen, I'm not interested.
They still haven't revealed it yet. I mean, everyone's basically hunting down Red Hood because they think it's him, and it's just like, really?
You got Jason Todd
alone. The armor's red? I don't know. Everyone's like, "Oh, this is so smacked of Red Hood."
But I mean, not for nothing. Jason Todd's not even the first Red Hood. Maybe it's Joker.
He's on.
That would be crazy. It's like, no, actually, I can be quite sane when I want to be.
But no, the big thing is, Leviathan appears to Amanda Waller, and she's like, "I know who you are." She's like, "I know that tech, that your mask is." She calls him a con artist, and then he's like,
"A con artist? Gee, do I know any famous con artists with techs? I tell you, I want to see if Brian Michael Bendis makes any comments on David's proposal.
Oh, me too.
It's like, quiet, David, quiet.
But and then I don't know if it's a clue, Lil, but she's gone.
Yeah, she's gone. You can't keep the iguanas out of your routers in Florida.
I know, but he mentioned the Janus Initiative, which was an old Suicide Squad story. So I'm just wondering if it has something to do with that.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Gus Gorman's been in prison, so
because
he was a previously not known about team member of the Suicide Squad.
Because now I'm like, is it Jimmy Olsen or is it maybe like? Well, I don't think it's Captain Adam, but I'm just.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. Here's what I'll tell you. If it, we know that Brian does have a habit of, saying, "Who will it be? It was some guy."
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was some dude, but he's a cool dude. Don't get us wrong.
It was.
But that's who it was the whole time.
It was the dude who sold Lois Lane a cup of coffee one day.
Yeah. Well, and actually, Brian could totally. That could be a thing where it does tie into something obscure like that, because Brian does that kind of stuff too,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he loves to bring back those kind of things. He loves, like I said, to me that is like the biggest reason why I think it could be Gus Gorman, because it is a guy who's going to be some guy to a lot of comic book readers,
Mm-hmm.
Especially this age, because who watches Superman 3 when it's not out as Superman 3, I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's great and wonderful, and that's that. But we'll have to see.
All right, Lilith messaged me. I guess the iguana must have got her. She said she's done.
Okay. Well,
hey, did you read Powers of X this week? Number 2.
I am not feeling this. I am not feeling this in any conceivable way.
Again, I'm thinking this is like, is this like a Disney-driven initiative where it's like, okay, we're going to reboot the X-Men. There may be cloning involved. So, like, when we do get our live-action X-Men eventually, they can mold them to whatever shape the MCU X-Men look like, maybe?
No, but we're jumping around space and time, and it doesn't make any sense to me, because so now we're saying that basically in our universe, Magneto never attacked the nuclear missile base. The X-Men never fought Magneto as their first adventure. None of this ever happened.
Well, I wonder, is this one of Moira's previous lives? Maybe, I don't know.
Well, that's one thing I was thinking. Because we keep on jumping through time, it's very hard to keep track of where we are and what we're doing. So I get the feeling that the entire arc ends, and then we find out that this is another universe. But now we got all this other backstory that influences the reality that we're in.
And I mean, I'm sure it has to be intentional, right? That Xavier is giving me Maker, the Maker vibes with that helmet and everything, and that's Well, I mean, again, super intelligence kind of stuff, and he's got his little brain booster hat on, so he can cerebro everybody. Which is what that hat does? That's to cerebro everybody. Oh yeah,
and then you got and then we jump to the future, and I don't know, man. Like I said, it's a little much for me. Maybe if I was a huge X-Men fan, it'd be more. But I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know where they're going. And honestly, I'm not in any rush to get there.
But yeah, I mean, I'm liking the story. But yeah, I don't know if I'm liking all the jumping around. It's like 100 years in the future, 1,000 years in the future. I'm just
yeah.
Wow.
Well, exactly. And not for nothing. And like I said, the entire Moira mech target reboots the universe, or just alters. And like I said, and that's this question. So as an example, does a point in time? So this is what I once came up with this idea that how you have alternate futures, maybe there are alternate pasts.
Mm-hmm.
That you can have these alternate pasts rejoin at a certain point,
mm-hmm.
and maybe that's essentially what happens. Is at a certain point, because Moira's in this universe, it gets to this point in time where now it's rejoined, and then the past she created is the reality for these people, but for everybody else it was the classic story, and maybe people have the double memories and all this kind of stuff. I remember that this is what happened, and I also remember that this is what happened. Why do I have all these different memories? And it's because Franklin Richards put the universe back in the wrong place.
No, Franklin
Richards is just Franklin!
That's the other thing. It's as supposedly if all her lives have been going, this whole time, it's there's been so many cosmic things happening. We had Secret Wars, if nothing else, and it's just everything doesn't. So
maybe that's what Hitch is going to go for, is the idea of alternate pasts leading to a central future. That maybe, if you think about, like, reality is one point in time with a bunch of other lines coming towards it and a bunch of other lines going off of it, but it sort of bottlenecks at the present. And that, in that case, the present isn't just the phenomenon keeping everything from happening at the same time, but it actually is a bottleneck of causality, and anything before and anything after is always open, and anything is possible. And so her bopping back and forth can have these effects. And would certainly explain the fluidity of life and death in this universe, because people die, they come back, as if they were some kind of Jason Todd hitting the walls of reality. Or, Superboy Prom hitting the walls of reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Taking Jason loose.
Hey, speaking of time travel and stuff, I'm sure you didn't read Silver Surfer Black #3.
No, I did not.
Oh, it's so good because, like, the Surfer's basically been thrown back, like, almost to, like, the beginning of this universe, because, like, he's been fighting, who's that, Null, the symbiote god and stuff, and, Ego, the Living Planet's been helping the Surfer.
This is when he was, like, all cool, like, oh, man, I'm fine.
Oh, yeah. When he was young and hip. But, on the last page, on the last page,
you first read to go pee, man.
on the last page of #3, guess what Silver Surfer finds?
Galactus's egg.
Yeah, the incubator where Galactus popped out of. Yeah.
Obviously. What else is he gonna? So is he gonna bring her now? I don't know.
Yeah, is it gonna be a thing? Do I alter time?
Take you back into the light.
Yeah. Or is it gonna be like, do I alter time and save trillions of lives, or just let things,
But let it go. Let it go. Well, what I did read this week was Silver Surfer, the Prodigal Son. And along those same lines of time travel, we find out that this takes place many years earlier, when Prodigal was sent, because he's part of this galactic empire, sent to this one planet that wants independence. And he gets there, and for some reason, everybody's leaving. Why is everybody just leaving the planet like that? That's because, of course, Silver Surfer showed up as the Herald of Galactus, because this is when he was Herald. And anyway, they have their big fight, because Prodigal's like, yeah, you know what? I'll just beat him up, because I'm basically Superman. They even make the point that, oh, actually, you're not your father. The person you think is your father isn't your father. He's just raised you to be this, and you're like all crazy powerful, yada yada yada. $5 he's going to tie some way into the Eternals, because we got a new Eternals movie coming out, so Prodigal is going to be that. And let's not forget, like, all the Eternals recently died, so maybe he got separated out, and he is our elemental superhero, and he's basically beating up the Silver Surfer a little bit, hits him with earth, air, fire, water, and then, of course, Galactus shows up, and he goes to challenge Galactus, and Galactus is like, whack. As you do. Just stop it. And then when he comes to, Galactus has destroyed his world, and he's all sad, and then, Silver Surfer brings him back and says, you fought stupidly, but bravely. And he returns him to his home world, where he has to explain to his evil brother, who's all Loki. Look at that. Does that look... Wait. Yeah. There we go. This is brother. Yeah. Right there, yeah. His brother's all Loki. They get into a fight, and then we flash back to the present, where he is on the moon, because he got ejected from the FF's ship that he tried to steal. And then he meets Silver Surfer, and Silver Surfer offers to take him back home. And then we'll see what happens next issue. To be continued in Guardians of the Galaxy, Prodigal Son. There we go. So yeah, I like this book. This was a lot of fun. Actually, even like this better than the first book of the Prodigal Son series. I think I'm going to get the third. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
What's your next book, Phil?
Let's see. What do I got? There's a bunch of Spider-Man books out as usual.
Yeah. I do not know how you afford these books, Phil. You know, your son is going to have to go to college someday, Philip. I'm just telling you that right now. Or you just...
Invaders number 8 was pretty decent. I mean, Tony Stark's had to basically rebuild the Human Torch, so the Human Torch almost looks like Iron Man. I mean, from the neck down, almost looks like Iron Man now.
Oh, Tony, just
I know.
Stop.
But basically, Bucky confronts Namor and tries to get him to, come down, but he doesn't. So Bucky called in a secret weapon to try to stop Namor. Sue Richards.
Okay. How does that work?
Well, Namor.
She bat her eyes at him, and he goes, "Oh, that's
it probably would have
fine."
worked, except he's got the serpent crown on his head now. So yeah, he even attacks her.
Yeah.
So you know something's wrong if he's
The serpent. Why is he wearing the serpent crown?
Well, again, it's I don't know if it was the Xavier mind stuff, but now I don't know, Namor has another personality in his head, so it's
But that thing doesn't do good for you. It's. There's no one that has ever worn that where it turned out well for them.
It's that other person that's yeah, put it on. We'll do good things.
Totally. You won't become the thrall of Set, I promise.
So I don't know if that's how they're try to explain Namor's mood swings now, is just he always had this other personality in his head since
Yeah. One thing I will say about the new Valeria story is that this is actually probably going to be the first time I actually read the backup novella in the back, which is The Fall of Thoth Amon, who is the leader of the Stygia Set cult, so maybe there's going to be a tie-in, we'll see. Gwenpool Strikes Back came out.
Oh yeah, I want to read that. Was that good?
Oh, it was trippy. It was really trippy. Because you basically realize that, I guess, when she falls out of the public consciousness, she falls into the black, like poor Jesse under the bed, and she finally comes back into existence, and it's just, it's dense. It's a lot of, basically you see why people think she's crazy. And then she gets, everything is just so crazy in this. She gets, cause she's trying to get superpowers, right? And she figures if Spider-Man bites her, she'll get spider powers. And she even mentions, I'm trying to figure out what part of you is the most radioactive. Oh. And he's like, the spider was radioactive, not me. She says, yeah, but there was that one story where your fluids were radioactive. He's like, what are you talking about? Anyway, and, you did try to rob the bank, so he webs her up, and then she gets visited by a Gwenpool who's dying of radiation sickness from eating too many bananas. Well, at least that's what she says. And then eventually she jumps off panel again, but now the panel is weird because it's, it's not supposed to look like this. And she realized that they're trying to retcon her out of existence, rather than just for getting rid of her, they're trying to retcon her out. But, she realizes that and essentially she goes into this thing, when she's in a team book, she doesn't have her full powers. So she doesn't really want to be in another team book because she has her powers when she can be in a solo book, and she realizes that anything she thinks about becomes a reality between the panels, and she imagines herself essentially hanging out with Radioactive Man to get that good, juicy radiation, which is where our radioactive Gwen comes from. And, so she brings her back, drops her into the universe, who unties Gwen to bring the whole thing full circle. And she realizes that when she's between the panel, now she can basically create anything, which was, of course, touched on in the Deadpool Spider-Man storyline, where Gwenpool's one person behind the pages and she could draw things into existence. So, yeah, it is interesting. I'm loving what they're going full ambush bug with Gwenpool, and I love it. The only, they just, she's just awesome. I love her. She's my favorite.
Oh yeah.
And that was all.
All right. I was gonna say that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. So should we get out of here?
Let's get out of here. It's been an hour.
All right. So everyone, send it. So I was gonna say, send us your thoughts on the cancellation of Krypton, this week's comics, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Charlie Ether's Gus Gorman theory, and much more. capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/capesandlunatics, @capeslunatics on Twitter, Capes and Lunatics on Instagram. Check out Work in Progress, capesandlunatics.org. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and our new weekly newsletter, capesandlunatics.home.blog. Call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And you can watch us live on Facebook, on Twitter, and at GetVocal.com. Charlie Esther.
Well, don't forget to follow Lilith on the gram at Lilith Hellfire 69.
Yes, that's right. And on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire.
Yes. And, of course, if you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way, where Miles and Paz wants to do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And you can always follow me on Twitter as I live tweet Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and other shows. Maybe I'll even do this whole Crisis on Infinite Earth things. Who knows? At Charlie Esser. That's CHARLIE-ESSER. Look for the 2 E's in the middle. Ding. I was so happy that David actually stuck around to hear my song.
Nice. Oh, wait, did he?
He's such a... Yeah, he did. He was there. He was there till we hung up.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. He hung out, man.
Well, I should have got a promo from him. Maybe I'll reach out to him again.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. You should have.
Yep. Any comic creators, get a hold of me. All right. For another week, we have been, and Iguana Woman down there, we have been the Capes.
And the Sands.
Iguana Woman.
A very special guest star, David F. Walker.
Well, that was last night.
That was last night. A very special guest star, Iguana Woman. Yay!
Muppets. Yay! Kermit.
Yay!
Oh, fine. Wrestling the Wizard down in Florida.
Lizard never stood still.
Thank you, and good night.